Good morning, good morning, good morning. April 17th, 2025 edition. I'm just saying podcast. Um, we on the move this morning, okay? We're live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram for the first time. We're live on Instagram this morning. So those of you who are tuned in all those areas, please, if you're a friend of mine on social media or whatever, you can catch me on any of those platforms. Also, later on, we will be on Spotify, uh, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, as well as YouTube later on if you missed this. And don't forget, as always, share this video, share this video, share this video. Good morning. I am Mr. Kankakee, JJ Hollis in full effect. Okay. Always bringing you the latest news and um, really trying to educate the masses on a lot of things that are going on in our communities. Okay. One of the, I want to give a shout out to all those people that are loyal supporters that watch me on Facebook on the daily, on live, trying to get some inspiration. The I'm Just Saying podcast is back and in full effect. It's going to be weekly, unless we have some special episodes coming live from some places around the area. We're going to give you some local and national news sometimes. One of the things I want to touch on today uh, has just been sitting near and dear to me. Uh, we're going to discuss a lot of things dealing with how to identify mental distress, how to identify mental distress, and we're going to talk about suicidal ideations as well as homicidal ideations. Okay? We don't discuss that enough, but we need to. We have a lot of uh, black on black crime, and not just that, school shootings, and a lot of things going on in our world today, and we need to identify the signs to try to stop some of these things from happening. Okay, so we're going to identify some things today, and we're going to give you some tips on how to identify when people are in mental distress and where they may be acting out on suicidal and homicidal ideations. What do I mean by suicidal, homicidal ideations? They have the idea, they have a plan sometimes to kill themselves and to harm others. Okay, to kill others. Okay, and there are signs. Okay, there are signs. Don't think you hear people always say this. You hear them say things like, I didn't know, never showed any signs. They did, but you didn't understand what was going on. Okay, so when people are in mental distress, which we see them every day, okay, one of the things that one brought about this topic for me to talk about it was the young man down at Louisiana State University, a aspiring NFL draft pick, Kyron Lacey. My prayers go out to his family. He took his own life as he was preparing for the NFL draft. He took his own life. Okay, and we have to be able to identify the young man that was driving his car in January, I believe, and he was driving kind of fast, they said, or whatever, and through his actions, somebody swerved. An older man got killed. That was on that young man's mind a lot, evidently. What happened? He took his own life. Okay, and we need to be able to identify the signs for suicidal and homicidal ideations. Don't forget to share this video, share this video, share this video. There's about to be a lot of, and I want to hear from you what you think. I'll be able to respond later on all of my social media platforms. I want to hear what you think on Facebook. I want to hear what you think on YouTube, and I want to hear what you think on Instagram about the uh, about what I'm about to say. Okay, so let's start off with suicidal ideations. How do we know? And there's going to be some similarities, okay, in suicidal and homicidal ideations. How do we know that someone may be getting ready to commit suicide? There may be, or they have thoughts of it. That's the ideation. They have thoughts of committing suicide. One of those things is they become withdrawn. If you have a person that's normally outgoing, normally talkative, there may be an issue. There may be a problem. They may be becoming, listen to the word I'm about to use, they may be becoming depressed. Okay? They may be becoming depressed. So what do? Okay? We need to interact with these people when we start seeing changes. Okay? When we start seeing changes in normal behavior, we need to address it, especially in our young people. Okay? Especially in our young people. Okay? The fourth leading cause, you know, J.J. Hollis deal with numbers. The fourth leading cause of death amongst young people with the age between the ages of 15 and 19 is suicide. I'm gonna repeat that for you. The fourth leading cause of death of teenagers between the ages of 15 and 19 is suicide. So we have to be able to identify to help save our young people. And one of those things is when they isolate, when they start to withdraw. We need to watch that. For the kids that play sports and they're in drama and everything, if you see a kid, all of a sudden the school play come up and they usually the star of the school play, then all of a sudden they say, "Nah, I don't want to be in the school play." That's a problem. We need to address that. We need to find out what's going on. Okay. Number two, suicidal ideations. Okay. Number two, what suicidal ideations is when they start selling off valuable products and things like that. When I was a kid, I had a young man that I'm not gonna say his name because I know his family watches this. But when we were, I was, I think I was a freshman. I was a freshman in high school. Guy I've been going to school with my entire life. The day before he committed suicide, he had this big tester bottle of Polo cologne. He's always let us use it in PE, man. Hey, y'all want some cologne? You know, and so what happened was I got to school a little late the next day. Okay. And when I got to school, everybody was just sitting there quiet. I'm like, what's going on? And the teacher called me to the desk and said, such and such killed himself last night. And I lost it. I said, man, I just seen him yesterday in school. And they talked to us. Then they brought in some counselors and everything to talk to us about signs of someone maybe getting ready to commit suicide. If we would have knew then what we found out then, if we would have knew it back the day before, we could have possibly saved his life. We could have went and told somebody, and they could have told his father, hey, this is what's going on with your child. It could have been prevented. So that's another sign. If you see somebody starting to sell off valuables that they cherish, like if you see somebody right now, an adult, okay, if y'all see an adult starting to sell off all his cars and jewelry and all that stuff, we may need to check that out, okay? And the same thing with teenagers. If they start selling off, if you know you got a kid that got 20 pair of Jordans, then all of a sudden they starting to sell them off, we might want to check that out, okay? So that's another sign, okay? And another sign, let's go to the other end of the spectrum, and we may not think so, is when when their behavior changes and they start to become angry and mad all for some reasons. Okay, I'm not gonna give you all the I don't have that much time this morning, but that's why the discussion is great in the comments, and we can discuss this after this episode about some other things that may be signs. But I'm gonna give you a few. And another one is when you see a kid that's normally, or an adult that's normally pretty calm, then all of a sudden they just start snapping out. That might be a sign that may be, having suicidal ideations. They want to get people away from them. Okay? They want to get people away from them because they don't want nobody around them when they get ready to try to act. Okay? So we need to address all of that. And don't be afraid to address these issues and suggest that these people get some help. And to those parents that have young people, okay? I'm a real advocate for this, getting your kids some counseling. But guess what? For kids that live in your house, you have to start making it mandatory. It don't matter whether they want to go or not. And if you got to sit in there with them, you sit in there with them. But it's imperative that we try to get these kids some help. And they have to have someone that they trust. Okay? So it's a lot of mental health professionals that work in these schools, whether y'all know it or not. And they may feel more comfortable talking to that person than a therapist. But they need to talk to somebody that has some experience in dealing with mental distress. Okay? So that's the tips for suicidal ideation, so you can identify that mental distress. But guess what? There's also homicidal ideations. Okay, we always talk about, well, we want to reduce the amount of shootings and the amount of violence in our schools, the amount of violence in our society. Well, we have to be able to identify when somebody is in mental distress and get them some help, or do an intervention with them. Now, homicidal ideations are people are telling you, but you're not paying attention. Number one, a lot of people, they call them manifestos or whatever. Okay, no, that's a cry for help. Okay, so when you see these people posting on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of these social media platforms, and they telling you, man, when I see you, I got something for you, I'm killing you, or man, y'all better not go to school tomorrow. I'm telling you, man, something gonna happen. We need to send somebody to their address ASAP. Okay? And that's same for suicidal ideations. I told you it's gonna be some that's gonna be identical. Suicidal ideations and homicidal ideations, people go to social media and post and tell you, hey, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. Or they do little cryptic things. They'll say things out of the ordinary, like, man, tomorrow gonna be one of them days. Or they start sharing stuff about suicide and homicide, especially when you get those kids and you get these teenagers and you get these young people posing with guns on their social media. What do you think they posing with guns for on their social media? They having some type of homicidal ideations. They have an idea that, man, if somebody walk up on me, man, I got this thing, I'm letting y'all know that I may do something. We need to address that. That's not normal behavior. That's not normal behavior. So those are homicidal ideations. And we need to identify that. Those kids have an infatuation with guns, an infatuation with the music. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm a person, everybody wants to blame the drill music and all that. Hey man, you have to explain to your kids that's nothing but entertainment. These same dudes that's out here in this drill music, those who just making music. Those same dudes that's out here in the drill music, getting on private planes, wearing $700 jeans, wearing $100,000 necklaces. So no, most of them, 98% of them, are not living that life anymore. Okay? They're not. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell y'all, I hate to bust your bubble. Not the ones that end up still doing it. You see where they at. And what's the first thing they say when they get in jail? Man, whew, I should have left that lifestyle alone, but you ain't got to worry about me when I get out. Okay? So everybody want to blame the music. I don't blame the music. You have to explain to your kids it's nothing but entertainment. But some kids, that's why we have to get them some help. When they start believing these lyrics, they're giving you a sign that they may be having some homicidal ideations. Okay? Number 2 on homicidal ideations, there's going to be some similarities. They start to isolate and they start to really want to be by themselves and they stay in their rooms all the time. And we talk about music. When you see a kid all of a sudden change the type of music they listen to, they start withdrawing from the family. And again, we have to be careful as parents when we introduce everybody says these things about, well, we got gun safety and we got gun laws and all that. Hey, man, we have to be careful about introducing our young people to guns when they're hunting, we have to keep talking to them about gun safety and those things. Okay, so when you introduce, and there's nothing wrong with your kid hunting, there's nothing wrong with you having your kid do some things, going out to the shooting range with you and all that. That's fine, but we have to also teach them gun safety and when not to use a gun. Okay, the right to bear arms responsibly is the goal. So we have to look into that too. All right, so that's another when they start to isolate. All right, number 3, again, similarities. When they start to act out, and they telling you, man, you better get away from me, man, before I do something to you. Come on, man. They crying out for help. They crying out for help. And what are we doing? Some of us on social media laughing. Some of us, man, dude ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, he ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, he not gonna do nothing. He will. He will do something. Or she will do something. Okay, so we have to pay attention to our young people. We have to pay attention when these people are displaying these things with mental distress. See, we always put stuff to the side. Oh, he just acting crazy. That's the way he act. That is not normal behavior. And we have to nip it in the bud early before it starts to escalate. Okay? So we got to do better. Suicidal and homicidal ideations. Okay? We got to do better. We got to do better, man. And I'm real excited to see what you posted in some of these comments. I will be addressing some of the comments later on. Don't forget to share this video, share this video, share this video. Okay? As always, man, hey, look, I want y'all all to be safe. I want these kids to be safe. I advocate for kids and young people all the time. And I want people to be safe. But the only way we're going to be safe is for us to check on each other. Check on your people. If you ain't heard from your people in a while, check on your people. Check on your people. And if you ain't heard from your people every day, check on your people. We got too many ways to communicate for you to not the way to check on your people. Start group chats with some of your people. I got a lot of group chats I'm in, but I try to check on my people. I don't try, I do. I may get on their damn nerves sometimes, but you got to check on your people and make sure they're okay, make sure they're not going through any mental distress so we can decrease the number of suicides and homicides in our society. Okay. Um, as always, I appreciate you all for supporting me. Later on, this will be on Spotify. The audio will be on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. And you can always come back if you want to see the video version. You can always come back to Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Okay. And as always, as I end all my videos, every day you get better, worse. You never stay the same. And remember, if you don't have a seat at the table, you are on the menu. May God bless you. May God keep you. And may you have a wonderful day. I holla.